Hey Savannah, it's Heather. I thought I'd take a minute to respond to your discussion board because I really enjoyed reading it. I really liked Simmons' article, really looking at behavioral integrity, let alone, transformational leadership, which is one of the ones that's been the most researched. That's one of the styles that really just makes sense. Think of the word transform, like you're learning throughout time. I love, when Simmons talks about, behavioral integrity, because it shows that your words match your actions. It's not just, saying words, right? And just saying what people want to hear per se, because ultimately you've got to follow through. You've got to show, that you want to lead, that you want that workplace or that nonprofit or that team or whatever you're leading, to really be successful. And that ultimately, if you show that behavioral integrity, you're going to really have success. And then it talks about at the end of that article about like looking at yourself, understanding. I think it's great that you pointed out that's something that you've personally been working on. So I myself was in my internship doing my 3,000 hours in Texas when I met my husband, and then you're like working all the time to get them done. And so I went through the same thing that you did. Like right after we got married, I had just finished my internship, was trying to start, getting my name out there from a private practice that I'm at. So I get that thought of, okay, like adapt, and so what you want to do is just talk together about what that looks like, because being in the helping field, let alone being a believer and just wanting to help others, because most counselors are going to have that spiritual gift of mercy and wisdom and faith and everything that kind of comes under that umbrella, of social services and people who work, to help others who are struggling, not only, mentally, but like physically and everything else. It's got a high burnout rate, especially over the last 2 years, and so it's just great that you first of all, have that willingness to adapt and that reflection. I am definitely going to look into this personal values card sort that you talked about. I think that's really cool to really just occasionally do an assessment of where you're at. Every so often I kind of do an assessment in my head of just not only the running to-do list in my head, but like my husband and I have the, goals for ourselves, goals for our future, and so if you break those up into mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual, those are really good to do. But thank you so much for that resource, because that's going to be great for myself personally, and professionally. I hope that you have a great weekend. I'll see you in class. Thanks.